Hey there, my name's Michaela Lizak. Let's go apartment hunting together. I'm looking for a place in downtown LA, my first solo apartment. We're living in the big city and that means we have a lot of options to choose from, but hopefully together we can find the perfect place. Don't forget to subscribe and let's start the hunt. I'm looking for my first ever solo apartment in Los Angeles, California for my senior year of college, and I'm taking you on the hunt with me. And I have high standards, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all probably see the background. My parents have heavily influenced my taste. I have expensive taste, I'm not gonna lie. That really didn't go well with my initial budget, which we'll talk about. In fact, I had to budge it upwards. Los Angeles is very expensive, okay? If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Michaela Lizak. I'm your curly-haired girl who is trying to make it in the entertainment world, and if you want to follow me on my journey, subscribe to this channel. And I've seen that a lot of you guys are actually watching my videos on TVs, so all you have to do is get your remote and click the little icon to subscribe from your TV. Things are getting fancy nowadays. So I did post a little mini apartment hunting series. It caused a lot of controversy because I do have very specific tastes. I know what I want. The things that work for me, and the things that didn't work for me, they were chopped. Let's talk about what I'm looking for in an apartment. My dream apartment when I was going into this, and honestly it was really hard to find. Something that wasn't too expensive because I will be paying my rent. I need something that I can actually do. There were some apartments that I saw online, I was like, wow, this is really nice. Like, I would really like to live there, but it's just completely out of the price range. So I had to find something that matched my taste, that still was doable for me. Plus, like, I'm not trying to put all my money into like a rental. I want to put my money into a mortgage one day, you know what I'm saying? Like, in-unit washer and dryer. Flashback to freshman year of college when I'd have to go down to the basement of my dorm to do my laundry. I just need something in unit for my convenience and for my sanity. I want floor to ceiling windows. I know, she's so original. Because I literally am a carbon copy of everything else on the internet, I want floor to ceiling windows. No, but to me, that just gives like luxury, and like, I really need natural light to fill a space. It just gives it so much energy, and it gives me so much energy. Parking. I need a place to put my car. You drive everywhere in LA, your car's your best friend. Amenities would be nice. I also wanted it to have a gym, and a nice gym too. Like, if it didn't have a nice gym, that's kind of a deal breaker for me. Pool. I don't really care about a pool that much because I don't like swimming with other people. Public pools. I really want an apartment with a kitchen island because I'm not gonna go buy a dining table. Also because I remember in my sophomore year place, we didn't have a kitchen island, and like the only place to prep food was against the wall. And it was so game changing when I had that in my junior year apartment, and y'all saw me with my Breville cold press juicer, juicing my things, cutting vegetables and fruit. Like, I need all that space. I'm a very high maintenance individual who needs a kitchen island. I need a place that is a convenient drive to campus because I'm getting this place because I'm still in school. I'm also looking for a high security building, 24-hour security, people in the lobby, cameras everywhere. If I walked through an apartment that felt like it doesn't seem very secure, it was an automatic pass. And finally, I want a place that matches my vibe. Sometimes when you walk into an apartment, you just know, like, I can see myself here. Now let's get into each of the apartments that I viewed. First apartment that I toured. This is the lobby, which honestly intimidated me because I went from like a cutesy college apartment to then this. Like, this is grown-up level. Why is it so fancy? It felt cold too. I didn't really like the lobby vibe. Anyway, the leasing agent took me to a unit, and when we walked in, I was like, oh, this is very small for the ask. This first apartment is $3,100 for 500 square feet. When I first walked in, I was immediately met with the kitchen island, which is like, okay, that's one of the things I want, but there wasn't that much space, and I feel like it looks bigger on video. I didn't like the orientation. I also didn't really like the white cabinets. The microwave was like under the kitchen island. The flooring too, like that concrete flooring, just felt like cold. I didn't really like it. In-unit washer dryer, which was nice, but even the bedroom was teeny, like very small, especially for the asking price. I would have preferred all that balcony space just be indoor space because personally for me, I'm not really going to use a balcony that much. It did have a really nice walk-in closet that was super spacious. I did really like the bathroom. The lights behind the mirror was really cool. I also liked the tub shower situation and how it has that little ledge there. Put some candles, whatever you want. The sink was extremely small. It was just way too small, especially for the ask. Maybe it was because it was on a high floor, but look at this view of the city. Like, that is crazy. It had really nice amenities, like this huge Olympic-sized pool. While I didn't like the unit itself, the gym at this apartment complex was amazing. Like, this was a full gym that I would probably get a membership for. Very, very nice, but still a pass. Next place, I went to a spot that was a lot less intimidating, a mid-rise, and I immediately knew when I walked in that it was a pass. A lot of the finishes felt very dated to me. The countertop stone I didn't love. The color of the doors and like the crown molding I wasn't in love with, but the amount of square footage was great. I really enjoyed that, but this first unit that we saw, there was no kitchen island. I have like little kitchen appliances. I have a toaster, Breville, blender, all of that's gonna take up that space. Where am I gonna prep the food? And people on TikTok were like, girl, you can buy a kitchen island. But if I'm already paying however much for an apartment, I want the island built into the unit. I also liked how the washer dryer was in the bathroom, because then you can keep your laundry basket in the bathroom and it's like nice. So I did like that. The shutters in the bedroom, and there was also like a door in the bedroom, which was a little strange to me. I feel like I'd prefer a door to the balcony in like the living room area, not where I sleep, if that makes sense. The shutters also made it feel very dated to me. It wasn't my personal vibe. But again, very spacious, and for the ask, it felt really fair. We did view another unit that had a kitchen island, but the lighting in there was like yellow, and then also the countertop, I just didn't love the stone. There was so much space. It was very, very spacious. Again, it just felt dated. I want a different vibe for my videos and for my lifestyle. The little balcony was nice too, overlooking the street. Very cute, but I just didn't like the finishes and the cabinetry and the stones. And this apartment was also facing north, so there wasn't that much sunlight in here. Then I was like, okay, let's go tour some lofts. So I found some huge lofts that were around my budget, which was nice. A lot of square footage, like 900, 800 square feet, between like 24 to 2600. And I also thought it would be cool to have sort of that loft vibe where you get like exposed brick or exposed concrete. I do like that aesthetic. All of the units were really different. None of them were the same. Like, some would have different cabinets depending on who was in them before, like they renovated it. So you never knew what you were really gonna get. It was very big, and then I was starting to get worried, like, okay, maybe square footage and a ton of square footage isn't always the best thing, because how am I gonna furnish this entire place? This was the bathroom as well. The doggy bowl sink, I was like, oh, heck no. I'm not washing my face in a doggy bowl. It did have in-unit washer dryer. This is the closet storage area, but I did notice as we were walking through the complex that it didn't seem like a very secure building at all. And that was definitely worrying for me. So I was already thinking about passing on it. We did see this really pretty corner unit, and it was all glass on this corner. It was really cool, very big, but I didn't like the kitchen. I didn't like the kitchen. It did have an island, but I don't know. It wasn't my vibe. It felt cold. I thought I was gonna like the concrete more than I did, especially in the bedroom. You'll see when we enter, it's just dark, like concrete. You're in a parking structure. It just felt really cold, and I didn't like the vibe of the bedroom, but there was a lot of square footage in this place. I didn't like the bathroom. I was already gonna pass on this because the building was not very secure. Apartment number 4. I went to a new building, and it basically looked like the first one that I went to. Like, same cabinets, same floors, so it was a sister property from the same developer. So I was pretty much getting the exact same thing. This one was a studio with a den, which was actually pretty nice. But it was small square footage for the ask, which is a theme with this apartment. It does look bigger on camera, but they were asking for a lot of money just for a studio. With the studio den, ideally you'd put your bed and like have your bedroom be in the den. But what sucks is usually the den doesn't have any lighting, and I feel like I want my bedroom to get light in the morning. I want to be woken up by the sun. Could put my bed in the other part of the studio, but then it'd be right in the kitchen. And so I don't know, it just wasn't for me. So much balcony space, but I'm not gonna use the balcony. I don't need one. Yeah, and then the floors. I hate the floors. Next is another mid-rise, which honestly blew me away with the amenities. That's what we first toured. Before we saw the units, we walked through the amenities, my boyfriend and I, and oh my gosh. Like, how cute are these common areas? and then you could walk out to the pool. It had these nice loungers, and it was also new construction, like they had just opened it. You'd get a completely unused apartment unit, so you know like you're the first one in there, nothing else has been used. It was a mid-rise, which I was also a lot more comfortable with because my last apartment was a mid-rise. The gym was so cute. Like the equipment was really good. They had treadmills, bike machines, free weights, a 2-story gym and wellness center. So I was already like, I want to see these units because I'm already pretty much sold. Like I was in love with this place already. This is upstairs of the gym. Like imagine doing yoga up there or a meditation. So nice. You can see on my face right here, I was getting really excited. I was getting very happy. This was the movie room. So nice. I just love whoever decorated this place, and they were still in the process of decorating it because again, this building was brand new. Loved the aesthetics. So let's move on to the units. This is the first one we saw. This unit was kind of at a weird angle. The only light source was from this door to the balcony at the end of the room, in the living room. All the 1-bedrooms did not come with kitchen islands, but I loved the cabinetry and like the backsplash, the handles, the sink hardware. It didn't matter to me, honestly. Like I thought this was really pretty, and you get a lot of space. The bathroom was super spacious. I loved the bathroom mirror, but a huge issue was lighting. This is the bedroom, very spacious, huge closet, which was very nice. In-unit washer dryer in the kitchen, but as you can see, not a lot of natural light. Like if those overhead lights were off, this place would look very dark, and it was the middle of the day. So I was asking the leasing agent, is there another unit with a lot more natural lighting? So then we were taken to this 1-bedroom, and I didn't like the layout that much. The window was at the end of the room, and I feel like none of the light reached the kitchen, so back in the kitchen it felt dark. The kitchen was pretty close to facing the wall, so like even if I put a dining table right where he's standing, I feel like there's not a lot of space to get around. So I didn't love that, but again, the cabinets, the backsplash, so cute. Love the bathroom so much. Gorgeous, but I feel like lighting was a big con, and I also didn't like the floor plan. We also went and viewed a studio as well. A studio with the den, and again, I wasn't in love with the layout of it. It was very small. I don't know, I loved all the amenities, but I feel like the units weren't hitting. It just wasn't everything I was imagining. The studio with this den, like the bedroom, was so small. I feel like you could only fit a twin bed if you wanted to walk around, but it was insanely small. It doesn't look like it on camera, but like if you put 2 people next to him, like that's the span of the room, like 3 people. So you can only fit like a small bed. And we tried, like we toured a lot of the units, but there was nothing that I really was in love with. So honestly, I was disappointed because I loved the amenities so much. And at this point I was getting very discouraged because I was like, dang, everything is so expensive. You don't get that much space. This next apartment, I tried to schedule a tour 4 different times, like on different days, just trying to get the leasing agents to answer the phone. No one was ever answering the phone. When I did finally schedule an appointment, I show up, the leasing agent isn't even there, and they're like, oh, someone else is gonna have to take you. And I waited an hour for the next person to take me. So before I even saw anything, I already had an opinion of how the building is managed. And walking the hallways, there was a stank. It smelled in the hallways. The building was definitely older, like in the hallways and stuff, you could just tell like it was an older building. But the units were very, very spacious, and you do get good square footage for your money. And while I will say this video, like it looks nice on camera, it wasn't quality construction. I do like how the cabinet is like a fridge. That was kind of cool. I was confused that the microwave was just floating with no other cabinetry next to it. That was a little strange. So I didn't like that. I do like the kitchen island. I love the industrial metal window frame, and like these huge windows, very high ceilings, so a ton of light, which it was gorgeous. But all of the wood felt very cheap, and when I walked by the kitchen island, part of the molding fell. That's like the trim against the kitchen island, like the wood just fell. And then the leasing agent just kicked it back up, and I was like, okay. The floors also looked pretty old, and the carpet also was pretty old. But again, you get so much space, which was very, very nice. A lot of light, high ceilings, very nice. but there was it stank in there. Like, there was a smell wafting through the entire place. I didn't like the bathroom. We also saw another apartment. Again, you can see it's completely different. So it's just an old building, and then they would redo like the different units. So a lot of them would look really different. So much square footage. But again, the wood was very old. There were a lot of imperfections. I hated the like kitchen cabinets. Not a pretty kitchen in my opinion. The only thing I really loved about this building were the windows. So that's unfortunate, but like the views of the city, so pretty. This building also did not have a nice gym or really nice amenities in my opinion. Great square footage, but I was already turned off with like the people who are managing the building. We did go over to a connected property with the same leasing agent, and we saw this studio, which was so nice. Like, I walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. The bedroom area was separated by this like frosted window, so you do still get some light that comes in there. And even though there was no kitchen island, I really did like the configuration of the kitchen to where the whole wall was just all of the kitchen, and there's like actually ample space for you to put a dining table or a makeshift kitchen island. And the windows were gorgeous. The views were so pretty. This one was really nice, and it felt like a good starter place for just me. But again, I didn't really love the building. Didn't have a nice gym. It just wasn't the one. Like, it didn't feel like, ooh, like this is the one. This place was actually really nice, but I didn't end up getting it. I wanted a full bedroom. We saw some more units in the same building. Floor to ceiling windows looked nice, but there was really nothing wrong with this apartment, except it just didn't feel like the one. Like, it didn't feel like home. Spacious, very clean. Like, these ones actually felt modern, and it had nicer finishes than the connected building, but it just didn't feel right. So the feeling of it just wasn't right. I didn't really like the people managing it, so it was a pass for me. The next building I saw was also a newer building. This is the first unit that I looked at, no kitchen island, and I was like, hey, y'all got kitchen islands for one bedrooms? They said no, but I did really like the feel of the apartment. I liked the woods. The bathroom was huge, really enjoyed that. This building was very expensive though. We also saw another studio den, which was very nice. It was new, it looked very clean and nice and modern, which I loved. But this would be the bedroom, but I didn't like how it was just a small opening for all the light that you get in your bedroom. I want like an actual proper bedroom with a window. This place looks so nice when I'm looking back on the videos. This next one, I still think about to this day. This one was a 900 square feet, 2-bedroom for $3,000. It was a lower price because it was on a lower floor. When you first walk in, there's a bedroom right there. This is like the kitchen area, and even though it's on a low floor, which does kind of sacrifice privacy, you have this beautiful street view with the trees outside. Like, so gorgeous. I actually couldn't believe it. I didn't care that there was no kitchen island because that like little view, so pretty. It was such a nice clean street. This is the main master bedroom, and you have so much storage space, 2 closets. This place was honestly so perfect. It was gorgeous. I actually really loved this place so much. That place was so nice. Maybe I should go back there and like see before I sign my lease. Maybe I'll go back there one day for that unit, but the con was actually that it was too spacious, because I was like, dang, this is actually a lot of space, and I don't know how I'm gonna furnish 2 bedrooms and then this whole entire kitchen. It just felt like a lot for my first place, and I'd only be having it for the school year. I felt like that would be a perfect apartment if I needed something a little more long-term. If I was staying longer than a year, I feel like that would be a great space for me. But because I'm only doing something for the school year, I wanted something where I can just buy a few pieces of furniture that was still nice. That apartment also didn't have the option to hold a unit for more than 30 days out. I was looking at apartments in the spring, like we're still in summer and school starts in the fall. So even if I did want to hold that place, I'd still have to wait and see. But honestly, that building is very beautiful. I think it was a little too much space for my first solo apartment. I don't need 2 bedrooms right now. I don't need to buy all that furniture right now. And then the other con is obviously privacy. Like, if you're on the 3rd floor and it's nighttime and you have all your lights on, people are gonna be able to see inside your unit. Comment down below which apartment was your favorite. I didn't end up choosing any of those apartments though. So my senior year apartment has been secured. I feel so blessed that I'm even able to say like solo apartment, or that I'm able to go ahead and get my own place. The thing that sucks about apartment hunting is it reminds you that, dang, rent is basically a mortgage and you're paying all this money for you to not own the actual space that you're living in. That's why I want to be in a space where it's like, it won't be too much of a cost in terms of furnishing the entire apartment, because after college, I have no idea if I want to stay in LA, if I want to like go somewhere else, if I want to like spend a year in Paris or New York and write and like do all the things, or if I want to like commute from the valley, or look at investing my money in property instead of just paying so much money to a landlord and never being able to own the actual space. For my senior year of school, I feel like the apartment that I ended up choosing was perfect for me. I toured it 4 times just because I was like, okay, is this the one? I showed my sister, my boyfriend, my parents, and I think it's right. We'll see when I'm actually living there, like if I end up loving or hating it. But I think it's the perfect apartment for me right now in my life. If you want to see the apartment that I ended up choosing, be sure to subscribe to the channel because that will be revealed soon. All will be revealed. Can't wait to share it with you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.